Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another video. The film that we're about to look at was a short film that I shot a couple months ago, and it was made with a really small crew. So I just wanted to show you guys what you can do with, limited resources and small crew, because overall I think the film looks gorgeous and I'm really happy and proud with what we made. So yeah, let's just jump right in and talk about it. So this is the first scene that we shot for the film. I had one helper and they weren't very experienced, which is fine. It's always nice to have an extra pair of hands helping out. So if you notice to the right, we see a window, and that's kind of establishing the motivation for the light. So I just set up a Godox 200 watt off to the right side and diffused it with like a 4x4. We also had a little flag stopping some of the light from hitting that back wall. We also had a little bit of negative fill on the other side just to block some of that light that was bouncing off the wall onto her face. So for this scene, we had a couple more lights. This was a 3-light setup, but we also had a decent little crew helping. So we had a gaffer, an AD, and a PA. They were all great, and so I opted to go for a overhead lighting look for her on the bed. And then when the actress walks in, the second light is on the wall, kind of highlighting that saxophone that's up there. And then the third light that we used was just an overhead LED for the actor when she sits down. You can see here in the behind the scenes footage of what we did, and this was a pretty fun day. Pretty simple setup, and I'm pretty happy with the results that we got.
Don't say that we have started religion. You should take a video. Yes, my PA can take a video. I got you. Bro, I've been getting more stuff. Dude, but I've been bringing that ever since Then let's just run behind. This
is probably one of my favorite scenes visually in the entire film, and I'm incredibly happy with it. Shout out to my gaffer and my friend Max. He's amazing, also a talented cinematographer, and I love working with him. I feel like he's always just trying to make the film better, so it's always a pleasure to work with him. But for this one, again, this was a very simple setup. So we just had, I think it was like an Aperture 600D that was outside, blasting through some trees into the house, creating that blind effect on the back wall. Yeah, and then we had the Amaran 200XS with the softbox, the little grid to diffuse it and control the light. Behind the camera, I just had some black sheet creating some negative fill to create the shadows on the other side of the face. And then we had another aperture light inside that was aimed above the windows, using that to kind of bring up the level and the exposure levels in the entire room. That's pretty much it, and I'm extremely happy. Like I said, this is probably my favorite looking scene in the entire film. Okay, so for this scene, we're doing a couple of things here. Her key light is this RE650 tungsten that we're diffusing. Then we have these practical bulbs behind us, and then we have a Amaran 200 behind, kind of casting that blind effect onto the fence. Yeah, so just trying to create a little texture and a little depth in the shot, nothing too crazy. That's my friend and talented cinematographer and gaffer, CJ. He's setting up the diffusion for that RE light, and I'm just giving him a hard time.
How do you know you're on an indie set?
When you're gaff taping everything.
We're not rolling.
Oh my god, that's how you're. That's how I sound like.
That's you, Leslie. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a walk and talk scene. We didn't do anything crazy because it was an overcast day, so it was very flat, even lighting, and it kind of was appropriate for the scene. Again, this shot, we were at this like gorgeous temple. The location was incredibly beautiful, so it did most of the work here. I essentially was diffusing the sunlight that was hitting their face with just like one of those circular diffusers, and then I put up a flag on the other side just to create some like negative fill. And then we're just having a little fun on set shooting our actress Navia in slow motion with the wind blowing in her hair. So this is another walk and talk, and this one was a little difficult just because it was the end of the day, the sun was going down, and the sun was behind them, but we had this big building blocking a lot of the light. So we had our PA off to the side with some diffusion, just bouncing some light up into them, just giving them some kind of fill. And then we also had like a little aperture tube light just above the camera, you know, providing some more light, and also you know, just trying to give them that eye light. And that's gonna be it for the rest of the video. This is us just kind of goofing off, having fun on some downtime. You know, you got to remember you're making a film, and you just have to enjoy yourself and enjoy the process, even though it can be stressful at times. Cool. Well, I hope you liked the video, and I hope you learned something from it. And yeah, I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to the next one. Bye.